Running a business is complicated, and as an owner, you have a million things going through your mind. Accounting and tax should not be one of them. If you've never worked with a good accounting firm, you're going to understand the process and what happens behind the scenes. Initially, when we incorporate a new business for our clients, we'll sit down with the shareholders and look at the tax planning opportunities for them. This could include adding family members as shareholders to split income, and also looking at the monthly cash flow requirements for that family. For individuals who have never used a corporation before, we break it down for them very simply. We let them know what expenses to pay personally versus what expenses should be pushed through the corporation on an annual basis. Now let's dive into the year-end process. When we're creating a tax plan for you and your family, we're going to look at a number of specific factors. We're going to determine what monthly personal obligations you have, how much income you're earning on an annual basis, and what your savings goals are. Based on this, we're going to come up with a strategy for you that will include many factors and minimize your taxes. We're going to decide between salaries and dividends and also give you your monthly CRA payroll requirements so that you don't have a huge lump sum owing at the end of the year. By paying taxes on a monthly basis, it helps you budget better. Now, with respect to your annual tax filing requirements, there's a number of items you have to consider. The first thing is that bookkeeping has to be completed. Generally, for any corporation, you have to prepare a set of financial statements by law. Before you can do that, the bookkeeping has to be done and entered into an accounting software. We're going to use the bank statements, credit card statements, and any other source documents, such as receipts and invoices, and enter this into an accounting software. There are many accounting software choices available to you. If you prefer to go cloud-based, you could use Xero, QuickBooks Online, or even Wave Accounting. These are very good for corporations, but not necessarily for self-employed individuals. If you're self-employed, you may want to use something such as FreshBooks. If your organization is more robust and you need something a little bit more complex, you can use a desktop version of QuickBooks or even simply accounting. We complete the bookkeeping for many of our clients, but if your organization is bigger, you may have internal staff that's completing the bookkeeping for you. Whichever way you choose to go, this is the most integral part of your financials. Once the bookkeeping is completed, we'll prepare the financial statements and year-end adjusting entries. For a basic type of financial statement, you'll hear the term notice to reader or compilation. This is if there's no requirement from the bank or any other stakeholders to have a higher level of financial statements. What we do is we make sure we minimize taxes and the statements are prepared in relation to generally accepted accounting principles. Once the financial statements are complete, we're going to move towards preparing your corporate tax return. We're going to reconcile between accounting income and taxable income. There are various adjustments that are required on an annual basis to ensure that your return complies with all the tax laws. Any income that's withdrawn from the corporation has to be reported on a T4 or T5 slip. These filings are due at the end of February of each year. If you've taken out a salary, a family member, or you have any employees, T4 slips must be completed and filed with the CRA. If dividends are paid to shareholders during the year, you must prepare a T5 slip for them to include on their personal tax return. Personal tax returns are due by the end of April each year, unless you're self-employed, where they'll be due by June 15th. Using the T4 and T5 slips prepared earlier in the year will file your personal tax returns. We're going to send you a checklist with all the information you need to remember. It's going to be a guide for you to compile your information so that we can prepare your return correctly and minimize any taxes owing. At SRJ Chartered Accountants, we keep an open door policy with all our clients. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us directly. It's important you communicate any major life-changing events, such as having a child, the intention to purchase a house, or wanting to save additional funds. We're going to use this to maximize your tax efficiency on an annual basis. We also like to automate things as much as possible, so it minimizes your requirements to be involved in the file. We also take advantage of various technologies available to us so we can automate the process as much as possible. We'll even send you documents for signatures electronically, so if you don't have time, you don't need to come to the office on every occasion. Our goal is to take away the pain and time burden of your tax filings so you can focus on what's important to you, your family, and your business. If you think we're going to be a good fit for you, why don't you reach out to us and we'll schedule a personal consultation for you.